After a brutal impact, the car's hood crumples, leaving Eddie Brock in a mangled and bloodied state. Spider-Man, horrified by the sight, rushes to his side, explaining that he tried to catch him, but the overwhelming presence of symbiote dragons made it impossible. Stammering in distress, Spider-Man is uncertain about what to do if Eddie doesn't make it. He desperately calls for assistance, pleading for anyone to come and help. Slowly regaining consciousness, Eddie weakly asks Peter to take care of Dylan on his behalf. Meanwhile, atop the Empire State Building, Knull expresses irritation, wondering how a single human could be so resilient to kill. On the ground below, Spider-Man cautiously attempts to extract Eddie's broken body from the wrecked car. He realizes that they need to retreat since Knull has already vanquished everyone else. Just as his spider sense tingles, Spider-Man manages to dodge a lethal energy beam, discovering that Storm, Cyclops, the Hulk, the Thing, Captain America, and Ms. Marvel have succumbed to symbiotes, and now wear armors reminiscent of Knull's. With determination, Spider-Man scoops up Eddie, preparing to escape, only to see the Human Torch soaring towards them. Johnny advises Spider-Man to take Eddie to the Fantastic Four's lab while he holds off the symbiote-possessed heroes. Spider-Man voices concern that fire won't be effective against these symbiotes, but Johnny jokes that at least he won't use his Nova Blast to harm their friends. Spider-Man argues that Johnny will likely be overpowered and taken over, but the Human Torch solemnly acknowledges this reality, encouraging Spider-Man to inform everyone that he fought bravely before succumbing. As Johnny triggers a massive explosion, Spider-Man swings away with Eddie's webbed-up body, determined to find a way to save their friends and stop the symbiote menace. Later, at 4 Yancey Street, Spider-Man pleads with Valkyrie to utilize her divine powers and heal Eddie, who lies in a comatose state. Connected to life support machines by Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, Valkyrie somberly informs Spider-Man that her abilities only allow her to sense how close a person is to death, and if he intends to save his former rival, time is of the essence. Despite the urgency, Spider-Man implores her to do whatever she can. Regrettably, Valkyrie explains that she must first escort the Sentry's soul to Valhalla, leaving Spider-Man disheartened by the fact that he also has other pressing matters to attend to. In Ezekiel Sims' bunker, Dylan Brock sits in front of a screen, engrossed in a first-person shooter video game, his face devoid of emotion. Spider-Man enters the room, and without beating around the bush, Dylan asks if Eddie is dead. Spider-Man responds that Eddie was alive when he left, but urges Dylan to hurry and pack. They make their way to the Fantastic Four's base, where Dylan is shocked to witness his father's deteriorating state. Spider-Man reprimands Dylan for his swearing but agrees with the urgency of the situation. Inside the base, a meeting is underway between Black Panther, Valkyrie, Mr. Fantastic, Blade, Professor X, and Magneto. The discussion revolves around their decision to retreat to Krakoa and halt their aid in combating Knull's invasion. Tensions rise, especially when Magneto launches into an angry outburst. Amidst the heated exchange, Spider-Man interrupts, seeking an update on Eddie's condition. Reed informs them that Eddie's condition remains unchanged, but emphasizes that the fate of the world is hanging in the balance. Black Panther offers the resources of Wakanda to support their cause and inquires about the powerful artifacts they possess: the Infinity Stones, Cosmic Cube, and Ultimate Nullifier. Blade questions why they would need reality-warping objects against Knull, whom he perceives as just one person. Valkyrie straightforwardly explains that Knull is an ancient and unfathomably powerful god who predates their universe, effortlessly capable of slaying some of the mightiest cosmic beings. King Namor strides into the room, a look of disdain crossing his face as he scoffs at Knull's self-proclaimed kingship. Blade, visibly annoyed by Namor's presence, demands to know who invited him. Mr. Fantastic glares at his wife, who defends her decision to call Namor for help, stating they need all the assistance they can get. With a resounding thud of his trident against the floor, Namor commands everyone's attention and coolly points out that his people have been fighting in darkness for millions of years. while the surface dwellers have just begun and are already losing. He declares his intention to challenge Knull for dominion over the Earth, offering the armies of Atlantis for the battle. Yet, he cynically inquires if anyone has a practical plan. Iron Man, seated beside Eddie's comatose body, stands and announces that he has a plan, albeit an unpopular one. He emphasizes the need to keep Eddie alive as he possesses knowledge on how to access the symbiote hive mind, which could potentially help them defeat Knull from within. The only hope to save Eddie lies in a symbiote, specifically one of the dragons. Iron Man volunteers to take the risk of obtaining a dragon symbiote. Spider-Man questions the necessity of a symbiote dragon when Dylan's cat is actually a disguised symbiote. Dylan explains that symbiote dragons possess far greater power than their lesser counterparts, reminiscent of the havoc Cletus Kasady caused when bonded with a fragment of one. Iron Man further adds that he has several contingency plans in place as well. Venturing into the depths of the Mariana Trench, Namor encounters the Black Tide, a group of elite Atlantean warriors banished many years ago due to their corruption by an ancient dark artifact. Despite knowing their reluctance to return to exile willingly, Namor expresses his reservations. Iron Man shares his concerns and offers assistance to defeat them, emphasizing the need for warriors skilled in fighting within darkness. In a daring mission to Chernobyl, Blade bravely battles hordes of vampires, seeking an audience with Count Dracula. He informs the powerful vampire ruler about the presence of another Dark Lord who intends to conquer the Earth. Meanwhile, Iron Man reaches out to Mayor Wilson Fisk, leveraging his underworld connections to recruit New York's supervillains for a critical cause. The Kingpin himself visits the bar with no name to personally oversee the alliance. While soaring above the cityscape, Iron Man boldly ventures into the monstrous jaws of a symbiote dragon during his flight. Swiftly, he administers extremis into the creature's body as it tries to consume him. The symbiote dragon retaliates by infecting Iron Man with its malevolent essence, striving to corrupt him even faster than extremis can sever the connection to the hive. A dreadful transformation occurs on Tony's forehead, bearing Knull's spiral, while his HUD transforms into the enigmatic glyphs of the symbiote language. In sheer anguish, Tony exclaims that he can hear the agonized screams of the symbiote dragon reverberating inside his mind, and his signal fades into darkness. In the lab of the Fantastic Four, Dylan sits beside Eddie's hospital bed, desperately trying to wake his comatose father. Spider-Man consoles Dylan, reassuring him that there was nothing more he could have done. Just as Dylan begins to reveal his newfound powers, the door swings open, revealing Iron Man in his armor, corrupted by some living abyss. Iron Man enthusiastically announces his success, but warns them that they must act swiftly before Knull undoes his reprogramming. With a sense of urgency, Iron Man pours the symbiote onto Eddie's body, hoping for a positive outcome. However, Dylan quickly realizes that the reprogramming has failed and tries to intervene. The symbiote attacks Eddie, leaving Iron Man horrified, while Mr. Fantastic and Spider-Man struggle to remove it from Eddie's body. Fueled by anger, Dylan uses his powers to blast the symbiote away, unintentionally splattering Reed with globs of molten darkness. In an unexpected turn, Reed joyfully proclaims that Dylan's powers could be the key to saving their friends and defeating Knull. Amidst the chaos, they hear a sustained electronic tone, prompting Dylan to inquire about the sound. Spider-Man solemnly attempts to grab Reed's attention, while Sue urges her husband to be quiet before pointing to Eddie's EKG, which has flatlined. Eddie Brock is no more.